students, welcome to English class. Today's topic, we learn about one of the first chapter in the prose, Chief Seattle's speech. Chief Seattle's speech is authentic text of Chief Seattle's treaty oration in the year 1854. So before we proceed, let's have an idea regarding who this Chief Seattle is. Chief Seattle was famous 19th century American Indian chief of Duwamish tribe and the Suquamish tribe. He was a prominent leader of his times, much respected for his Native American wisdom and commitment towards maintaining the ecological balance of ancestral lands that fell under his tribe's ownership. Next, why did he deliver this speech? This speech was a response to the American government's land treaty to buy the native lands proposed by Isaac Stevens, the governor of Washington Territory. Seattle's speech is regarded as a powerful plea for the respect of Native American rights and environmental values. So you have come across two categories of people here. One is American government and the other is Red Indians or the Indians. So this Chief Seattle's oration is actually a speech in response to which the Indians were persuaded by the white settlers. When Columbus discovered America, the people whom Columbus found in America was actually Indians or the Red Indians. So they were said to be the inhabitants of America for long years before the coming of white settlers. And as a result, the entire lands of America was under the hands of these Native Americans. Now, new settlers, after the discovery of America by Columbus, new settlers have started moving to this land. And one of the important category who came in order to conquer the land of America were the whites. So, this speech is response to American government's land treaty. That is, now the Americans are planning to buy the land from Native Indians. So, what the Native Indians give as a reply to this offer made by America is the main theme of this speech. The Indians were persuaded by the whites to give their thousands of acres of land to the US government. That is for the whites for a sum of $150,000. So who were the members present at the discussion? On one side, we have Chief Seattle, Chief of Red Indians, and at the other side, it was Governor Isaac Stevens, who was sent as an officer to discuss with the Native Americans or the Red Indians about the sale of land. So some of the main characters or the main personalities you might come across in this Chief Seattle speech are, one is Chief Seattle. So about Chief Seattle once more, Chief Seattle is the leader of Red Indian or the Suquamish tribe. Then you will come across another person named White Chief. White Chief is the governor of Washington Territory, that is Isaac Stevens, who was made to discuss this land treaty or the sale of land with Chief Seattle. Then again we have another important character named Great Chief. Great Chief mentioned here is the President of America. Chief Seattle thought that the President of America then was George Washington, but in reality the President then was Franklin Pierce. So hope you have got an idea regarding the chapter. So let's begin the Chief Seattle speech and the context of the speech or the situation when the discussion was going on was Chief Seattle had placed one hand on Governor Isaac Stevens' head And then slowly he pointed the index finger of the other hand towards Evan as he began speaking. So let's keep this concept in mind when I proceed. Chief Seattle speech. Yonder sky that has wept tears of compassion on our fathers for centuries untold, and which to us looks eternal, may change. So, Chief Seattle is telling, yonder sky, the name of sky above. Yonder means sky above our heads or over our heads. The name of sky over our heads, which has wept tears of compassion. Compassion means which used to be sympathetic. On our fathers. Fathers here stands for the ancestors. For centuries untold, for hundreds of years, which to us looks eternal, may change. So this sky has been with our forefathers for many centuries. So we thought that it will always be with us. This nature will always be with us. It looked eternal for us. It looked very permanent for us. But now it may change. What he means is that till yesterday we were quite safe here, but now the white settlers are going to occupy our land. So as a result, what we thought about our nature, about our ways of life, what we thought that is permanent and will never change, may change because of the coming of these white settlers to their land. Today is fair. Tomorrow it may be overcast with clouds. So he's telling, today it is fair. Today everything is fine. We need not worry about any possibilities of danger. Today everything is fine. Tomorrow it may be overcast with clouds, but we cannot trust what will be applied tomorrow. Sometimes it may be overcast with clouds. There are chances that it is going to be sad days ahead. Overcast with clouds. That is, the clear sky might change and it might lead to sadness. Overcast with clouds stands for sad days. My words are like stars that never set. So he's telling, Chief Seattle is telling, my words, they are like stars. We know stars are very permanent, they never change their position. Similarly, my words are like stars. It will never change. That never set. Never set means that will never change. You can trust my words. My words are like stars and will never change. What Seattle says, the great Chief Washington can rely upon with as much certainty as our pale-faced brothers can rely upon the return of seasons. What Seattle says. The great chief at Washington can rely upon means can trust upon. With as much certainty, you can trust it with much certainty, just like you trust the return of seasons, just like you're sure about the return of seasons. That is, after one season, after summer, it will be winter. There is a particular cycle in season. Similarly, what I say, you can believe, you can trust. It is not going to change. You can trust just like you can trust about the return of seasons. You're sure about the return of seasons. The son of White Chief. The son of White Chiefs says that his father sends us greetings of friendship and goodwill. The son of White Chiefs here stands for Isaac Stevens. The White Chief says that his father here stands for Big Chief. Big Chief, that is George Washington. That is, according to Chief Seattle, the Big Chief is George Washington. But in reality, it is Franklin Pierce, as I told you before. So the White Chief says that Big Chief sends us greeting of friendship and goodwill. He has sent us greetings of friendship and goodwill. He has sent us greetings to become friends. This is kind, for we know he has little need of our friendship in return. This is kind, So Chief Seattle is telling, of course, it is kind from the part of Big Chief, for we know he has little need of our friendship in return, because his people are many. Because he don't want our friendship, this is kind of from his part. Because being a great person with lots of people, he is not in need of our friendship. Even then, if he is sending greetings of friendship and goodwill, it shows his generous and kind nature. Let's see what Chief Seattle says about the population of whites and the Native Americans. They are like grass that covers the vast prairies, while my people are few and resemble the scattering of trees of a storm-swept plain. They are like grass that covers the vast prairies. Here they stands for the white settlers. Population of whites is compared with the grass that covers the vast prairies. Just like a prairie land is filled with grass, same is the population of whites. They are too many in number. While my people are few, whereas the Native Americans, my people stands for Native Americans. They are few and resemble the scattering trees of the storm-swept plain. The Native Americans are compared with the trees that is scattered, the remaining trees. A plain is swept by storm after a heavy storm. The remaining number of trees that one can find after majority of the trees gets uprooted by a heavy storm. Here actually Chief Seattle is he is underlining the value of trees and how the Native American race is slowly going to meet their end, just like logging of trees cut by Americans. Americans were the one who gave much importance for the development. They didn't mind the protection of nature. So he is forecasting beforehand, by the coming of whites, they will definitely go for logging of trees or cutting down of trees will be done by the Americans. So in accordance with that, along with that, the population of the Native Americans will also deplete. The great and I presume also good white chief sends us words that he wants to buy our land, but is willing to allow us to reserve enough to live on comfortably. The great and I presume also good white chief sends us words. So he's telling the great and I presume good, that is he's telling the great chief, the great here stands for the great chief, and I presume also good. So he's telling, and I consider he as a very good person, also good. White chief sends his words. White chief here stands for governor. White chief sends us words that he wants to buy a land. He has come here with a request that they want to buy the land. He wants to buy our land, but is willing to allow us to reserve enough to live on comfortably, but at the same time they are also willing to allow us to reserve enough to reside here, to live here very comfortably itself. To live here comfortably. That is, the great chief has already sent a word that he is planning to buy our land. At the same time, he is willing to live us comfortably here. This indeed appears generous, for the red man has rights that he need respect, and the offer may be wise also, for we are no longer in need of a great country. So Chief Seattle is telling, this indeed appears generous, for the red man no longer has rights that he need respect, and offer may be wise also, for we are no longer in need of great country. So he's telling, this indeed appears generous. The request or the idea put forth by the white settlers or the white chief is actually a generous one. For the red man no longer has rights. For the red man no longer has rights. That is, meaning is whites no longer need to respect the rights of red man. the red man no longer has rights. Meaning is, whites no longer need to respect the rights of the red man because they are very few in number. That they need respect and the offer may be wise. And moreover, this offer, that is buying our land, is a wise offer put forward by you. For we are no longer in need of great country. Because since our population is less, we are no longer in need of a great country. We do no more need acres of lands because our population is getting depleted. There was a time when a people covered the whole land as waves of a wind-ruffled sea covered its shell-pay floor. So he's telling the history of the Red Indians. There was a time when our people covered the whole land. There was a time when a people covered the whole land as the waves of wind-ruffled sea covered its shell-pay floor. Waves of wind-ruffled sea, meaning surface of sea, which is caressed by wind. Shell-pay floor, meaning seabed covered with shells. Shell-pay floor, seabed covered with shells. So there was a time when our people covered the whole land as waves of wind-ruffled sea covering its shell-pay floor. Meaning the population of the Native Americans were too much. There were too many people on this land. But that time has long since passed away. But that time, that glorious time, has long since passed away. It has vanished long before itself, with the greatness of tribes now almost forgotten. But that time, the glorious time, is already vanished, and that greatness of tribe now almost forgotten. Now, it is just a sad memory for us. It is almost forgotten by everyone. It is just a sad memory for everyone. I will not mourn over our untimely decay. So, Chief Seattle is telling, I'll not mourn over our untimely decay. I'm not here to regret about our untimely decay. We faced a decay before time. Nor reproach my pale-faced brothers for hastening it, for we too may have somewhat to blame. So he's telling, I'm not here to regret about our untimely decay. Nor reproach. Reproach means nor disappoint my pale-faced brothers for hurrying it. Nor I'm not going to blame my pale-faced brother. Pale-faced brother stands for the white settlers. For hastening it, for increasing the speed of our decay. It was the arrival of the whites that has led to the decay of the Native American tribe. So they were the reason for speeding the process of decay of the Native Americans. But I'm not here to blame all these, as we too may have been somewhat to blame, because I'm sure that we too may have been somewhat to blame. Our tribe are people responsible for our untimely decay.